fun are endless. Join in. Call Action for Boston Community Development or your neighborhood center.
Siskel and Ebert, Saturdays at 7 on WBZ TV 4.
No, you can't. Anyone who goes about with Merry Christmas on their lips should be boiled in their own pudding. Christmas is a poor excuse for picking a man's pocket every 25th of December. Well, those are some of the sentimental musings of one Ebenezer Scrooge, but he's a fictional character. Surely he has no real-life counterparts. Think again. Meet today's guests. Even their friends have called them Scrooges, and they're here to tell us why. Later, we'll take a look at some People Are Talking highlights from this past year, answer some letters from you, and offer, on a more positive note, some joyous sounds of the season, all today. I'm Tom Bergeron, and this is People Are Talking. This should be interesting, or else we'll all be looking for a different line of work. Let's introduce our Scrooges here with us, real-life Scrooges. Lucia Beaton, married, the mother of 3 children. She says that in the past people have made remarks inferring that she is a Scrooge. Julia Figueres, this Christmas, Julia plans to spend the day at work. She's a radio announcer at WKXL in Concord, New Hampshire. And some of your friends think you're a modern-day Scrooge, too. Dan Kontoff sells bagels from a push cart at Park Street and thinks that Christmas has become too commercialized. And Tim Manning, whose wife is in the audience and agrees that, in fact, he's a Scrooge. They're married. He has 2 kids. Thinks that Christmas has lost all its value and is only for kids. Lucia? Now, I first have to mention, in just about all of your cases, you've got red on, a seasonal color. And Lucia, you've even got a little tree, a little brightly colored tree.
That's right.
Why then would you even agree that you're a Scrooge?
Because, well, first of all, I don't think I'm a Scrooge. And
off the set. You're out of here.
I love Christmas. I have no problem with Christmas. But I have trouble with what I feel Christmas has become.
Why do, then, some of your own friends infer that you are a Scrooge?
Well, I think mostly because I stopped giving gifts.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was just too hard to do the frenzied shopping and to stay reasonably sane, to enjoy the true spirit of the holiday. I couldn't do both.
What did your kids think when you tried to rationally explain this to them?
I still do the kids.
Uh-huh.
I can't let that go.
But you don't do maybe other relatives?
Nobody else.
Uh-huh.
Nobody.
And did they take this well? Or?
I think they were relieved.
Really?
Yeah.
Were you buying lousy gifts or what?
No, that meant they didn't have to buy me anything.
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
So I think that I relieved my whole family, actually, because now we don't exchange at all. So it's good. I don't even have to worry about my husband. And it's great.
You don't feel like you're missing anything?
Not at all. I feel relieved.
Julia, you don't like the holidays much at all?
No. And the reason why I'm wearing red is because I was told I shouldn't wear black. And almost
okay.
And almost everything I own is black.
So this has nothing to do with dressing for the season, then?
No, this has nothing to do with dressing for the season.
All right.
Absolutely not.
I get the sense from just your tone that you are more definitively anti-holidays.
It's a real sad time for me. It's a real hard time. Yeah. My stepmother died 10 days ago.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And from cancer.
Uh-huh.
And my grandmother died 6 years ago. Again,
around this time of the year?
Again, 10 days before Christmas.
Uh-huh.
See, this season rolls around, and it's real hard. It's really hard to celebrate when you miss someone.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a real personal thing, too. So I find it that there are 2 of me. There's the one that will go out and do the parties, buy the presents. My family stopped, the brothers and the sisters have also stopped exchanging because of finances, which is another problem. But it's really, really hard to do the party scene and miss somebody at the same time. So I go home and withdraw. I go out and you know, do all the gift giving. I love giving gifts. And I think a lot of the trappings of Christmas are just terrific.
Uh-huh.
But personally, it's really sad for me.
Is it an added burden when everyone is sort of encouraging you to be up and to be happy and to
Oh,
be...
yeah. Oh, yeah. The worst is all the commercials that run home for the holidays, and that telephone ad with the father and the estranged daughter.
Right, the New England telephone spots.
That's been coming back, and I have to run these things daily, and I don't know if I should blow it or not, but yes, Jill...
You're going to tell us how it finishes?
That
No, don't tell us.
Oh,
Don't know.
come on.
No, don't know.
I think we should
No,
poll the audience.
no, I don't. No, you don't want to know, do you?
They want... The ad is running on Christmas Day, and they get back together again. She calls her dad and even buys him...
You can't interrupt a letter. I'll write him a letter. Tim, what's your problem with the holiday? We just lost one major account. Thanks a lot, Julia. Tim, what's your problem? I'm sorry, over here. Yeah.
Just all the commercialization of it, hustle and bustle, pushing and shoving. I want, two ladies grabbing a sweater, they tear apart. Things like that, I see that, the kids want this, that, commercials on TV. It's just, it is a time for kids and for adults and everybody just to get together. You know what I mean? You can't be afraid of if I don't get Sam a gift, I'll have to get Jim a gift or whatever. That's for the most part my thing. It's just too commercialized. And plus there's people out there that they can't celebrate Christmas.
Let me ask your wife, because she thinks you're a Scrooge. Why do you think so?
At times, he doesn't like to shop. He hates to shop. He just gets real aggravated at this time of the year. And
but does it go
he
beyond
mopes. He's
shopping?
real grumpy.
Or is it something deeper than just shopping? Or?
No, I think it's shopping. And getting together and
getting together is a different
getting
thing.
together with
the whole
everybody.
idea of everybody coming together is...
He's just, whose house are we going to go over? And it's just a real hard time for him.
So that feeling of family coming together is more pressure than...
No, well, I think it starts from like I said, like November 15th or so. And that's like getting ready for the marathon, It's like, and Christmas Day is actually, the day after Christmas for me is Christmas because it's over.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's no more stress. In myself, like I feel stressed a little bit more than,
Everybody's not, Julia and Lucia are both nodding at that. The stress of it?
There's a lot of stress involved with it.
It's really stressful.
Stress.
And I really think that people expect you to behave in a certain way, and you have expectations of what you have to do, and you can't necessarily meet those. And then if you don't meet them, you're the Scrooge. It's your fault. I didn't make the rules to this game, so why should I have to follow them?
And some of your coworkers call you a Scrooge, do they?
People who don't know me well do. My friends lay off. My friends all know what's going on. My friends are supportive. They're kind. I've got a bunch of them here, and they're the best people in the world. I have a wonderful fiancé. They're good. But it's the people who don't know me who make the value judgment, which is unfair because I think in a lot of ways this season sort of encourages shallow behavior.
Dan, you brought some examples of that. You want to grab those?
Oh, yeah. Well, basically, I agree with that. I work at Park Street, and you see a lot of pushy people. And, sad to say, Christmas is more so, but the rest of the year is all year round. Now, two ads that came out in the Globe yesterday. One is for the season tickets for the Mass
Hold
Lottery.
them over so this camera can see them over here.
Here's one's in the Mass Lottery Christmas gift. Now, the most people they say buy the lottery tickets are usually poor people who are hurting for money. And this is a chance for them to make some money. So they buy lottery tickets every day, maybe $10 worth, $1 worth. And that's money that could be spent on their life. Instead, it goes for lottery tickets. And then you're showing Christmas. The other one is showing Christmas again in the form of a blonde, you all know.
The blonde, Marilyn Monroe, yeah.
And showing how to sell something with a blonde. Now, they could have used any blonde. I think the image is the same, either with Marilyn or the sex symbol, as the old term goes.
But it trivializes it in your mind.
Oh, totally.
Okay, over here.
For me, it starts around Thanksgiving.
Are you a fan of the holidays, or you don't care?
No, not at all. It's like, I live alone, and, I survive. I'm not real successful. Actually not. And, but I survived. Then the holidays run around. It's like, all of a sudden, my brothers and sisters I haven't seen in ages call up, what are you doing? What are you doing? And we got to get together for Christmas. And it's like, they drag me.
That you don't look forward to getting together?
No, I can't wait till New Year's is over with.
Really?
And then I enjoy the winter. I love winter. I don't like the holidays at all.
What is the problem with getting family together? That's what most people long for.
The tension is so heavy you could cut it with a knife. We're not close. I mean, I love my brothers and sisters. I love my mother for my mother, but we're not on the same level.
All right. I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to take a break right now. When we come back, a woman whose specialty it is helping people who don't like the holidays do better than just endure them, but really enjoy them right after this. This week on Siskel and Ebert, William Hurt and Kathleen Turner bring a bestseller to the screen in The Accidental Tourist.
I don't think marriage ought to be as common as it is.
Plus, the director of Platoon takes a disturbing look at the world of talk radio.
Are you on drugs, or is this your naturally moronic self? Watch the drool, getting it all over the console.
That's this week on Siskel and Ebert.
Saturday night at 7 on WBZ TV 4.
My legs are worth $1 million to me. I'm a model, and I can't afford to have razor nicks, cuts, or scratches. So I use Epilady. It keeps my legs smooth and silky for weeks. The secret is Epilady's revolving coil. Just circle, and Epilady removes hair from the root. So if you want your legs to look like $1 million, use Epilady.
Epilady, available at Lechmere.
Clap on, clap off, clap on, clap off, the clapper.
Lets you turn things on or off from anywhere in the room. Just plug in the clapper and a television, lamp, stereo, almost anything you want to clap on and off.
Clap on, clap off, clap on, clap off, the clapper.
Available at Bradley's, Osco, Walgreens, and NHD Super Hardware.
Bob said he'd do anything not to be in that reindeer costume.
Yeah, I know, but this is incredible.
Just like the book says, 8 tiny reindeer. Now I can be Santa.
What if it snows? Who'll guide the way?
Well, that's why I brought this flashlight.
Bob!
You know how hard it is to find a reindeer with a red nose?
Hi, I'm Jack Williams.
I'm Liz Walker.
I'm Dave Santa Maynard.
And I'm Bob Lobel. This year we're all pulling for Children's Hospital. Won't you join us?
Away, away! I'm Dancer, I'm Donner, I'm Prancer.
Great, another crazy Boston driver.
Joining us now, Linda Barbanel. She is a psychotherapist, and she has written a pamphlet entitled How to Stay Sane in a Crazy Season, and it is indeed that for many. Now, Linda, one of the people I was talking during the break to said, boy, this is kind of depressing so far. So far, everybody sounds so down about the holidays and that type of thing, and you're here to show us how we can fix that.
And to help understand what the heck is going on during this time. It is the longest and the darkest day of the year coming up, and I think for those people who need a little sunshine in their lives or actually outside, it can be very difficult. And it can be complicated furthermore by the stresses of expectations, as we heard earlier. I think that we have to understand that we can take the best and leave the rest. There is no command out there to go shopping. These are pressures.
There are real pressures.
But we are bigger than the pressures, aren't we? We're bigger than those shopping bags, and we can be more creative than the advertisers. We can come up with ways that we can make this holiday our way.
Okay, let's address our four guests, first of all, because you were sitting on the sidelines listening to their respective stories, so address them and specific suggestions that you would have for them.
Well, I think in terms of loss, this is a giant problem. We've all experienced losses, whether it is of an actual loved one, or perhaps of a job, or perhaps some self-esteem, or perhaps people have moved, single people, kids, everybody has some loss. At the end of the year, we kind of take a little evaluation of what we have and what we have lost. It's good to recognize these feelings and to feel them, and to realize that these are legitimate feelings to have at this time. It is too commercial out there. We are almost un-American if we don't shop in some circles. However, we can put some light of reality onto these situations and say, yes, the holidays are a time to prove that life can go on. They can be stabilizing forces. And if tradition is too tough to maintain in the way it had been in your family situation, you can feel free to make your own tradition and to discover what your style is.
Are you interested in doing that, though, Julia? Making new traditions, or would you prefer it just sort of go away? Thank you very much.
It'd be a lot less work to just go away, thank you very much. I'm not sure how you set up a new tradition, because it's pretty much laid out for you. The days that you can have off from work, the time that since I'm on the radio, for example, that I am slated to play 2 Christmas songs an hour, whether I like it or not. At 10 of the hour and 20 after the hour, I have to play something like Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer. That's part of my job.
That's a sweet one, too. That's a real lovely one.
Well, this is where planning does come in. And for those people who are lucky enough to get away for the holidays, if that's their style and if that's their tradition, they can plan ahead back in June or July to just nail this season down and get off to the Caribbean. But a lot of people can rest and rehabilitate themselves at home with a bubble bath and a trashy novel. They can go to do a whole movie marathon. They can get their nearest and dearest buddy and just take a nice walk through the park in the snow. It depends on what the style is.
You're getting some response over here from Tim's wife.
Yeah, we say that every year, that we're going to get away for Christmas and we're not going to deal with it, but we never do it. Never.
But this is in your control. You see, so many things aren't in your control, such as you have to do certain 2 things an hour. We've got to figure out what is the want to in all of this and see what it is that is the have to.
Well, how about this young man over here? His family gets together, but they have to drag him to the get-togethers, he said.
Well, I think he has to learn how to say no 10 times before he gets out of bed every morning so he can get ready for this season. You don't have to be dragged. You can pick who you want to be with this season.
Thanksgiving. I spent it with people from England and Ireland. It was great. We made a big meal, but it was just another day. I enjoyed it. It was their first Thanksgiving.
You had a good time with it?
Oh, yeah. Then we went to a club and got trashed. That's what I did.
Incurable romantics today.
Well, even for those people who do feel they have to go home for the holidays, you don't have to sit there and take the insults that get hurled at you from Uncle Harry. You can pick yourself up, you can change the subject, you can have a one-liner prepared for just those sweet occasions, and you can always say that, I think I hear somebody calling me in the other room, and exit. Okay. That's how to be in control.
All right, let's go to the phones. Brian is calling from Charlestown. Hi, Brian.
Hello, I'm Brian Wadman, and I'd like to know, were they Scrooges when they were young?
That's a very good question, Brian. I mean, how were the holidays when you were kids?
Stressful.
I remember them being stressful. I remember my mother being very busy. I remember the toys, though, too. I think that was a big part of it. And that was fun. You got something new. Pass the time.
Does it have in your memory, my memory of Christmases is almost romantic, probably, in terms of the snow being there and that type of thing.
It always was, but this year I've really tried to think back. Tried to be that little girl, and I felt pushed aside a lot, too. You know.
All right, Julia?
I felt pushed aside. That's a very good way of putting it. I called my mother when I knew I was going to be on the show, just to sort of see if I was nuts or if what I was remembering was true. I only really remember 2 good Christmases as a little kid. I felt pushed aside. I felt stressed. There was too much going on. And you're so little, literally, physically, that you know, sort of people talk over you without even knowing you're there. Christmas has never been particularly pleasant. My grandmother had a son who was born on Christmas Day and drowned when he was maybe 10 years old. And so that really colored...
There's been a lot of personal tragedy.
Yeah. And that really colored it for them. And I hadn't realized until I was much older how much it was coloring it for us, because it became this like, we must get together, we must have a good time.
Tim, how about you?
I think when I was a kid, at the time when I really recognized Christmas, maybe 6 and 7, it was a happy time. Then I was 11, like my father was killed. After that, my family kind of got, you know, no Christmas for a while. Yeah, you know, and it was kind of a sudden thing that happened. And it just...
let me ask you, this is for all of you. Dan, how about yourself?
Well, for me, I was very lucky. I was a kid. My thing I learned later, when I was a kid, I loved the gifts. It was like, you know, I celebrated a different holiday, but it was a gift given. As I grew up, though, I realized it's more religious. What is religion all about? What's the holiday? And then I got to spots where I don't like the commercialism involved. When I was a kid, I had a great time, all the gifts you get. I mean, you know, all these toys and all these things you get. When I get older, you can buy toys, not, you know, caring for toys anymore, so I grew more responsible about the whole thing and more interested in what it is all about.
Yeah.
Well, when I was a kid, the anticipation was the best.
Yeah.
Because I went to a Catholic school, I was an altar boy. You know, get some white cassocks, robes, candles.
Me too, yeah.
That was great. We had the Kris Kringles in class, and then home the anticipation was the best because we went, you know, my mother was on welfare and stuff like that. So the morning was always, she did her best, and we appreciated it. Then I got older, and then I moved out of the Catholic Church, so that killed it right there, and for the anticipation.
Okay.
No, it was a
all right.
big problem.
Let's go to Joseph in Waltham. Hi, Joseph.
Hi.
Yes.
How do your kids feel about you being Scrooges?
How do the kids feel? Well, Lucia, you give the kids gifts, right?
I do, yeah. I think my kids are having the best Christmas they've ever had. This is a new thing for us, but it's mostly because I'm not stressed out. I have more time to spend with them, and we're just having a good time. It was the first year that I went to a Christmas concert because I didn't have to do all this crazy shopping, and I think when the mother is in a good mood and her spirits are up, the children benefit from that.
Now, Tim, what about you and the family? Do the kids get stressed because they sense that Dad's not crazy about this time of year?
No, because they pull me right through every aisle in the store. My little son watches TV. I want that, I want that. He knows every little toy in the book. So when we go to the stores, he really, you know, so the kids really enjoy it. So I make sure, I don't push my views on them. I make sure that they enjoy it because, you know, I want them to have a happier Christmas than I ever had when I was a kid. That's my goal. And I think this year was my best year with gifts, and I'm proud of that. You know, this year was the best year for them for gifts.
But the problem, I think, is that when we as adults feel that the children should not be deprived, what we are really doing sometimes may be giving them something that they really are not looking for. They want the parents' presence, not their presents. The true goodies are
being there.
Their being there and
then
of
the
hugs
kids,
and kisses.
Excuse me, but then the kids have the peer pressure for their kids from their friends, who the little girl, Christine is 7 now, and she's getting to that point where you know, the kids, you know, Laurie, for instance, has that, Gail has that, why don't I have that?
Because this is your opportunity to teach them that we can't have everything we want either, but they can have some of what they want. And that if they can get into the idea that they can make a picture of the certain things that they want and then pull 1 or 2 things out, then that can become a reality, and then they can save for something or other.
All right. I want to get a sense when we come back of how you folks celebrate the holidays too. How many here are not nuts about the holidays? Most of you like them then. Okay, good. Then let's find out what you do. And later in the show, we'll take a look at highlights from this past year on People Are Talking, answer some viewer mail, and we have a special treat for you as well, all after this.
The new BZ expanded traffic network is great. You know, 10 or 15 minutes and it's always right there, which is great because the traffic situation in Boston can change that quickly.
Yeah, it used to be only Joe Green, and now there's more reporters and they supplement what he does, but he's the name in traffic, and BZ has the best traffic team around.
As long as I've listened to the station, Joe Green's been up there in his green machine flying around telling me where to go or where not to go.
I know he always tells me where to go. The BZ Traffic Network tells you where to go. WBZ Radio.
There wasn't anyone to help me out when I was growing up, but I sure could have used it. It's not easy running your own business, but it is your own. And when I heard about these kids trying to get started, I just had to take some time to help. Of course, they think I've got it made. As long as I can keep working with them, I do.
Your company can help shape a student's future and develop some valuable resources. Find out about Project Business. Call 367-5830.
The next time you're sitting around with some friends, try this. Raise your glass and say, to freedom.
Try it. You may feel slightly self-conscious, but after all, no harm can come, can it?
2 students in Portugal were sentenced to 7 years imprisonment for doing just that. Toasting to freedom.
That incident on May 28, 1961, sparked the creation of Amnesty International.
Since then, we have intervened on behalf of tens of thousands of prisoners of conscience.
But today, in over 50 countries, you can still be put in prison just for saying what you believe.
In over 60 countries, torture is still systematically used.
In over 100 countries, you can still be put to death, even for political offenses not involving violence.
How effective are we? A former official from El Salvador testified.
If there's an appeal from some foreign government or Amnesty International, then they will live. Otherwise, they are dead.
Join us to freedom.
We've been hearing from some folks who do not particularly care for a number of different reasons for the holidays, and we've heard some tips on how they might better enjoy them. I want to hear from you folks now. How do you enjoy the holiday? How do you do it?
I visit my family.
Mm-hmm. So family is important.
Right. We have dinner, we exchange gifts, and we enjoy it.
Yeah.
Have a lot of fun.
Yeah. So do you ever feel that pressure that they're talking about regarding buying the presents and having to run up your credit card debt and all that type of thing?
I do it, but I enjoy doing it.
You enjoy it, so you do it, you approach it with gusto then.
Right,
yeah.
right. And I find people are a lot friendlier during the holidays. It's a lot easier to shop to me. I mean, everybody's in this long line, and everybody's very congenial.
Mm-hmm. Do you ever feel, our four, quote, Scrooges, end quote, if you will, do you ever feel that, like Ebenezer Scrooge in the first part of A Christmas Carol, that feeling, the real genuine feeling of enjoying the holidays is only one lesson away or one piece of wisdom away, that somehow you'll actually get it? That, you know what I'm saying? Yes.
I always did, but it was this elusive thing. Couldn't really understand why. I think there's just too much, and we need to pull back and just think about what we're really trying to do and what we're really trying to celebrate. Mm-hmm. I think that's how you can truly enjoy it, rather than just keep doing more and more and more and more and trying to find it. There is, you know, it can't be done that way.
Dan, how do you celebrate it? How do you...
Well, I'm Jewish.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not attacking Christmas for religious sake. I think religion is fine. Our family's getting together, me and my mother. We're going to go out to Whale and some other Jewish families and have a nice dinner and get together. And for me, I think, you know, what it is, you can do with Christmas whatever makes it best for you, and be with people if it makes it happy. It's always good to be with people. And that's the best part of a holiday, is seeing friends and being with friends. You can almost forget about gift buying and just be with people, and that's part of the thing. As long as you get feelings for people and you share your feelings, it's another reason Christmas could be good for you.
Linda, that's pretty much your key advice, I would think, isn't it?
Yes, I think that Dan has consulted his feelings, and he is acting on them. He is doing what he feels comfortable with the people he feels comfortable with. And if food is what gives pleasure, so be it. If gifts are what give pleasure, fine. If making gifts are your thing, do that. I think that taking charge and taking control and not asking so much of yourself. Getting yourself something first is the best tip, I think, too.
Oh,
Santa
really?
is very tired
That's
and
dangerous,
wiped
though.
out.
You start going out shopping for other people, you end up buying...
I always buy myself a present
Yeah?
while Christmas shopping, and I give great presents. I do. Boy, you want to be my friend, I'll tell you. And I love it. I just love it. I love the look on people's faces when you give them that special thing, but I always make sure to buy myself something.
Mm-hmm.
Whether, you know, a shirt, pair of stockings, anything, as long as when I come home. Yesterday it was Miss Manner's Guide, so I could plan my wedding. That was my Christmas gift to myself.
Okay, over here, Scott.
These people really aren't Scrooges. I mean, Scrooges is really a misnomer. These are caring, loving people who are just dealing with Christmas in a different way other than perhaps what's considered the, quote, the norm. If you're talking about a Scrooge, you're talking about a mean-spirited, parsimonious, cheap, cruel type of character.
You know what I thought was interesting, though? Last night I was watching A Christmas Carol with George C. Scott, and it struck me in getting, because I was reading about you folks and getting ready for today's show, that when Ebenezer Scrooge comes alive, Christmas morning, what does he do to signify how alive he is? At every turn, to every person he meets, he spends money.
Right.
He spends money with this person, he spends money with that person, he doubles his rate, he's spending money all over the place.
Well, a lot of people in this season will get a second job just to afford Christmas. Yeah, I know a lot of people I've seen come and go will work at a second job to make money for Christmas. A lot of the push cards have people have a full-time job, and they get a second job just so they can go out and afford Christmas gifts.
That's right, and money is not a barometer of love. How much the gift is really isn't. When we dump too many gifts on kids, by the way, I think we are teaching them acquisitiveness. We're also teaching them how to handle guilt, our own guilt. We're passing on to these kids. I suspect that's why some of these toys are strewn about and not played with and broken the next day.
That's right. How many gifts survive even the New Year holiday?
I'm telling you,
sometimes.
it's unbelievable.
Or forgotten.
Yeah.
It seems to me that people take 46 weeks a year of not doing their personal job and their emotional job with their friends and their family in terms of support. And then for 6 weeks a year, you've got to do it all. For 6 weeks a year, you haven't talked to your family for 46 weeks, boom, you're expected to be at their house for dinner. You're expected to give them things. What's wrong with just taking care of people all the time? I don't see, that's one of the things that infuriates me about Christmas. It's almost a way of excusing yourself for the bad behavior that you've done all for the rest of the year. Okay, I've been a jerk this year, but here's that cashmere sweater you've always wanted. It's not the answer. To me, the answer is to be honest and alive all year long. And don't focus in on that one day. That's what I try to do.
Who else? I want to hear who else, how you keep the holiday alive over here.
I was just going to say, you know, Christmas, I don't think necessarily is forced the only time you can do that. You can do it all year round. This is a time when everyone gets time off from work. It's easy for everyone to do. I think it's a great institution for that reason. It's not, you don't have to put any of these negative things on it. That's you, it seems like, rather than the season saying. It's like your wedding, you know, you don't have to follow...
Miss Manners.
Yeah, you don't. You can make up your own wedding. You know, my wife and I got married outside. It was a big thing. We didn't get married in a church, but it's the kind of thing you just decide to do, you know, and
so are we, by the way, getting married outside.
Well, that's great. You should do that with Christmas, really. I mean,
there are many days that we get off in a year. We all get Easter off. We all get 4th of July off. We all get Thanksgiving off. We get a lot of different holidays off. But those holidays, we aren't expected to eat, drink, be merry, love each other, and really hang tough, be home for the holidays. Those holidays don't have that stress. There are maybe, 10, 11 legal 3-day weekends in a year? Why is it that Christmas is the one that makes people crazy?
Well, I don't know that we can, Linda, but if we can end this on an up note, you might have the save of the year. What would you say to these people? And
I think that you're absolutely right. We don't like to be told what to do, and when we have something that is pleasurable, we do want to repeat it. So I suspect that the best thing to do is to put some pleasure into this time of the year, given the reality that it is a crazy season, and figure your best way out of the situation by planning ahead.
All right, and I wish you luck in that endeavor. Thank you all for being with us. When we come back, we'll take a video tour over some of the highlights on People Who Are Talking in this past year. Stay with us.
The holidays are the time to care. In true holiday spirit, help deliver meals to isolated elderly on Christmas Day. Call Little Brothers Friends of the Elderly in Boston at 617-536-2404.
It's Highland's pre-Christmas madness sale. Your last chance before Christmas to go absolutely cuckoo with incredible savings at every Highland superstore. Like this Quasar 600-watt microwave oven with 5 power levels, just $159. So hurry to Highland's pre-Christmas madness sale. Thursday and Friday, 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. and Saturday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. What are you waiting for? Christmas?
What fun-filled plans lie in store for your weekend?
Same thing, same place, same thing.
If your weekend entertainment decisions have become a matter of habit, then tune in Joyce Gilhaywick for Weekend Preview.
Movies, museums, how about that? Those are just some of the choices in entertainment.
Just when you thought it was going to be another generic weekend, Joyce brings arts and entertainment to life. So step out with Weekend Preview. Fridays at 6 on Eyewitness News, WBZ TV 4.
Thank you. Your support and donations have made the Family Inn a reality. This home away from home is providing lodging and emotional support for those families whose loved ones await a life-saving organ transplant. The Family Inn is open because you took the time to care. Please continue your support. Your donations will allow us to provide the necessary care for these families who are experiencing a great deal of emotional stress. Call the Family Inn at 566-3430.
For the people who make our lives just a little bit brighter each holiday season. And for those who brighten the lives of other New Englanders all year round. We'd like to take a moment to thank you for taking time to care. Happy holidays from all of us at WBZ TV 4.
It is, it's difficult certainly to look over a year's worth of programs and hope to cull from that pile the best moments. We have at least representative moments of what took place on this show in the past year. When you do 5 shows a week for 50 weeks a year, you are putting into that sort of pot an amazing mix. And one of the chief ingredients, and one of the more pleasurable ones frequently, is the celebrity guests. And here you're going to see some of our favorites.
I lost my husband 3.5 years ago, and it's devastating, as you know.
It'll hurt forever.
It will, but I am recovering a bit, and what helped me, you'll laugh at this, what helped me, and I want to ask you the question, what single element helped you make the turnaround? I began to play in the stock market. Would you believe this?
I'd rather play with a broker. And how are you doing? How are you doing?
In the stock market?
Yeah.
Fine.
I need a little money, honey. Could you leave your address?
Bless your heart, though.
In other words, you got out of the life that you've been living all those years, and you found yourself no more hobby, so you got a hobby.
I'm 13 years older than Billy, so I'm not only a brother, but kind of a father. Our father died in 1953. And I feel like, well, I know that he's an extraordinary person. He's open and generous and intelligent. He's philosophical. He's well-read. He was almost a hopeless alcoholic then. Had a sickness he couldn't shake. But he went to a treatment center voluntarily in California, and he hasn't had a drink now in 8 years.
When I would say, why are people saying Shirley, Shirley, and we love you? And I said, why are they saying that to me? And she said, because your films make them very happy. Mm-hmm. And so that satisfied me, and it was, she was a brilliant, wonderful, sweet mother, and I've dedicated Child Star to my mother.
The truth is, I don't really talk that way.
I find myself starting to talk like this.
Well, I always hear people imitating me, and I don't talk the way they imitate me talking.
David Brinkley, I did find myself talking with him, and his tempo is so infectious, you can't help but start to talk like him. That, of course, Virginia Graham, Jimmy Carter, Shirley Temple Black, and the one and only David Brinkley. We go from celebrities to unusual shows, shows that certainly are difficult to not look at. Cases in point, the Chippendale Dancers, when they made their appearance, some belly dancers who had a slightly different twirl to them, and our assemblage of Boston bachelors. Take a look.
Just remember the world, you gotta live like you're a star. No matter what they tell you, remember who you are. Live like you're a star. No matter what they say, nothing.
If you were sitting at home watching People Are Talking, and it was a bunch of female erotic dancers here, and a bunch of guys, right, Joe?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
What would you be thinking? Would you be thinking, how dare they? How dare they trot these babes out in front of... No? You what?
You might learn something from them.
Okay, all right. So you're not into any double standard about that type of thing at all?
If they had women that did it classy, like
The Chippendales did, but they don't.
Oh, wait a minute. Look, what's classy? He's sitting there going like this, for God's sake. What's classy about that?
My question to the bachelors is, would you consider marrying, or dating rather, dating a woman who had been previously married, who's divorced, and possibly a woman who also has a child or children?
Okay. Brandon?
I just want to say hello to that girl. She can't disguise her voice to me. That was Ann Miller, a good friend of mine. But,
oh, wait a minute. I can't let this opportunity go. Ann, are you a friend of Brendan's?
Yes, I am.
Tom, ask him when they were with each other last.
There are shows that we do here which give you a different look at people, or maybe broaden one's understanding about people. One case in point is a show we called Ugly People, a show that, by its title, may have sounded very exploitive, but I think the question that remained after the show was, who are the ugly people? People who look different than we do, or the people that judge them harshly? Take a look. What do you think people are thinking about you right now, without really knowing much more about you than what you look like?
Well, some people might say, ugh, or back away. But I would like to say that most people are decent and kind. I don't want everybody to think that I think everyone is unkind. But people are afraid that I'm contagious, for one thing.
I think most people are, rather than being rude, although, you know, I have run into a lot of people who are rude, I think mostly they're curious. What happened to you? Just natural curiosity, rather than being rude or...
I think that, too, the basic reaction that I think I see in people is, what would I do if that happened to me? And I think that's really what people are thinking. I don't know. Maybe you could ask the audience.
Is my hair what you refer to as a helmet?
You bet.
What would you suggest?
We are talking major demolition here. And you're pretty, and you've got beautiful hair. What you would do is place it the way it is, bend your head down, brush the whole thing forward, then instead of flipping your head back, slowly bring it back so it's out to here, spray it. It will come down anyway, but it'll be a little bit messier and won't be quite as helmety.
Now, round all the way and reach forward so you stretch the muscle good. Now come back a little bit and relax it, turning it out. Now put it down and do the other side. Always do one at a time and back. And never, ever do 2 trigger points at a time, only one. And now relax, shrug your shoulders, make nice circles. Where's the pain now?
I don't have it.
Isn't that
Really?
nice?
Can I say something? Yeah, wait, I want to say something, okay? I had said before I came on the show, all right, I had talked to somebody, I said, if it doesn't work, I don't want to embarrass that doctor, okay, that woman. Okay, but I'm going to say it doesn't work because I believe I shouldn't lie.
Right.
I'm telling you, it worked.
Bonnie Pruden in action there. The shows that I'm always the most impressed with are the ones where people come on and are willing to share their pain or their sorrow or their outrage to share with us what they're really feeling. Most notable was the Matthews family, their first appearance on television talking about the conviction of their son for the murder of Sean Willett. And also you'll see excerpts from shows on the Watertown hazing controversy and also our show that got quite heated about police abuse. Take a look.
We look at it now, Rod was like 2 people. He had 2 personalities. One was a good one, and Rod, with the appropriate smile, would hide the bad one in front of us. And you look back now and you say, geez, when I was punishing him, you know, by saying, hey, go in your room for a week or so, whatever it was, you know, he'd look at me with that smile. And I said, what's the matter with this kid, you know?
That's sort of what
but now I look back at it and I say, hey, there was a problem there. I just hope that other people out there if they got a kid that's running around with an inappropriate smile and thinking that's good, they better look into it, because it could be a problem, you know.
When I was standing there was people at one end, there was people at the other end.
Right.
No matter which way I went, there was people there that would grab me, that would have grabbed me.
Right. Well, I know that never happened.
Were you there, Mark?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I was.
What did happen?
Well, I know that no one grabbed him. No one made him put a cracker anywhere.
Well, I
They have to have done
volunteered
that
to do that,
themselves.
Mark. That's something I go around every day doing.
No, we told him to do it, but no one physically put that there.
Whoa, wait. You told him to do it?
Yes.
You told him to take a cracker, put it in his buttocks, and run a certain distance.
Just like people did to us.
Here we have Michael's father, Tom Egan, Michael's father. You just called him a cop hater. You got to know.
Well, he talks like one.
His son died, and he has reason to believe.
Look, on his particular case, but don't tar every cop in the city of Boston.
You know what we have to do to
brush.
find out what happened? We have to hire a detective.
Look, sir, I feel very bad for you, okay? But don't tar 1,600 cops with the same brush.
We'll take a break. When we come back, some of your letters to us right after this.
From royalty on the rocks to famous fiascos, 88 had its share of the unforgettable. See who made it to the list of top newsmakers on Evening Magazine tonight at 7:30.
Got strange customs here. Eat little tiny goldfish, crunchy critters and flavors like cheddar and parmesan. The best thing is goldfish are easy to catch. They've covered up my favorite crackers, toasted sesame, savory hearty wheat, and English water biscuit. Pepperidge Farm distinctive crackers. They're more than just a place to rest your cheese.
You wouldn't step out for a big night on the town without looking your best. You wouldn't make plans without checking the weather forecast. So why hit the road without tuning in Traffic Watch 4? Judy Paparelli and the Eyewitness News team offer exclusive daily commuter forecasts showing what to avoid before it's too late. With Sky Eye 4 and our Traffic Watch network, you'll steer clear of the worsening New England traffic picture. Traffic Watch 4, tonight at 5:30, 6, and 11, only on WBZ TV 4.
Moiseyev is coming. Moiseyev is coming. Direct from Moscow, the Moiseyev Dance Company. The greatest of all. Spectacular. Incomparable. Breathtaking. One word says everything. Moiseyev.
For tickets, call 787-8000.
Well?
Well, what?
Well, how about you? Me?
No, thanks.
I thought you liked.
I do.
Hey, I'm a nice guy. I'll even introduce you to my mother.
I'd rather meet your doctor.
What are you worried about?
Lots of things. AIDS.
Oh, yeah.
We really need some more time.
Can I at least give you a call?
Why?
To invite you to my mom's for dinner?
Before we get to our viewer letters, just one quick note. If you are addicted to soap operas, you cannot let a day go by without watching, as my late great-grandmother used to say, my stories. We'd like to talk to you about that. We're going to have some soap stars on the show. We might be able to hook you up with the person you're most addicted to. If so, give us a call at the phone number you just saw, 787-7109, for our upcoming show on Addicted to Soaps. Well, any show that we do, we get letters from you, and we encourage that, by the way, and I personally try to respond to as many that are addressed to me as I can. Here's just a sampling of some of the letters we've gotten recently. This one from Connie Stringfield in Nashua, New Hampshire, talking about our legalizing prostitution show. But where on earth did you ever dig up that guest, Prissy? She was without a doubt the rudest, crudest, most vulgar, ignorant, distasteful guest that I have ever seen on your show. There have been some borderline situations, but this exceeded all bounds of tasteless viewing. And Connie, I have mentioned on a subsequent show, and I will say again, that was one that we walked away from feeling we might better have left alone ourselves. That show certainly did not meet our usual levels. The next letter we get is from Sarah Jeffries of Acton, Massachusetts. We frequently have experts on shows, and she took issue with an expert on a program on how kids deal with grief. Your program on children's grief has just ended. Saints preserve me from people like Dr. Grohlman when I have to try to deal with the death of a loved one. At least almost everybody knows what passed away means, but the significance of some of Dr. Grohlman's gobbledygook certainly eluded me. What she is alluding to herself is that Dr. Grohlman felt that some of the common terms we use to tell kids about death, passing away, gone on to see God, that type of thing, are actually more harmful than helpful. And she felt, as did I, quite frankly, that he was unable to come up with specific alternatives for the commonly used descriptions of death. M. Lordo wrote, this next letter is about the Belly Dancer show you just saw a clip of. And this person gets the world's longest sentence award from me without punctuation. I will inhale deeply here and try to get this all the way through. I thought Friday's show, Re-Fat People, was repugnant and an affront to public decency to allow those two women to throw themselves around up and down the aisles practically in the audience faces, and then to permit them to sit facing the audience and the TV viewers with their boobs and bodies exposed. You agree with that back there? Yeah? All right. A lot of groans for that clip when that clip came up on the screen as well. Another show, and this is one that you also saw a clip about, and before I get to the letter, I just want to talk about this basic subject matter. Some shows, and we're happy when this happens, seem to be exploitive at first glance, or when you hear the title. And people come away from some of these shows feeling, gee, I really learned about these people as people, and not as a catchy slogan, that type of thing. Well, the show we did on ugly people, and I think you saw a sample of that, certainly was a show we felt very proud of. And we got a nice letter from Gail Martin in Natick, and she agreed. Your People Are Talking show today on facial deformities was excellent. I was moved, informed, and I think I'll handle situations and interactions with people who have facial deformities better now. And that, I think, is the fondest hope we could have had for that show, that you just start looking at the people as people and not just reacting to what they look like. My favorite letter, I have to tell you, is from Faye Bennett of Hyde Park, Massachusetts, and I have to clean this up a little bit. To Tom Bergeron, Faye writes, I think you are one of the biggest blanks on television. Who the hell do you think you are voicing your personal opinion of Michael Jackson? You're just jealous because your own career is going absolutely nowhere. You're not worthy to kiss Michael Jackson's butt. He has fans all over the world. How many fans do you have? You make me sick, you stupid second-rate TV talk show host. That's from my buddy Faye Bennett in Hyde Park. I hate to tell you, Faye, but on the show you're referring to, it was an audience member and not me that referred to Michael Jackson. Sorry, Faye. We'll be back with a special seasonal treat after this.
Liz Walker is going one-on-one with some of the biggest names in business, entertainment, politics, and more.
Tell us a little bit about Hollywood.
Oh, the streets are paved with gold, handmaidens for everyone.
When you're on top, you're a target person that everyone wants to knock off.
I do not want to limit myself to the kind of roles that make people feel just pride.
This week, Liz talks to controversial Red Sox captain Jim Rice, a rare and candid interview.
Judge me by me.
One-on-one, Monday at 6 on TV4's Eyewitness News.
A smile can light the darkness. A helping hand can show the way. It's the little things that matter most day to day.
WBZ TV4 and the United Way of Mass Bay proudly salute the members of our community who have taken the time to care.
When you take the time to care.
Every so often, we make it a point to look through our closets to see if there isn't something we're not wearing that someone somewhere could really use. You see people everywhere who need a hand, and you want to do something to make their lives a little easier. It doesn't take much time, but I think it makes us realize just how lucky we are.
A once-a-year family project can help keep another family warm.
Call Morgan Memorial Goodwill Industries, 445-1010.
Supply, demand, economics, production, accounting, distribution.
Most kids find economics dull and stale. But Junior Achievement, in partnership with educators, brings a breath of fresh air into the classroom by having successful business people show kids the one thing about business that every economic theory neglects: the excitement. Support Junior Achievement. Show a kid how America works.
You are looking at our very special guest that I'll introduce in a moment, but right now I want to just say something to this guy back here. Bill Jacobson, come on out of here for me. This guy is retiring after today, is that right?
That's correct.
A man who desperately and vainly has tried to find my best side for the past couple of years. Come on out here just so we can see you. Jake, we just want to thank you for your valiant attempts to get the little gauze filter in the lens for me and wish you happiness in your retirement.
Thank you very much.
All right, how about a hand for Jake over here? And right now, I'd like to present, for those of you who do feel the holiday spirit or maybe want to get it just kicked into high gear, some very special young people from Belmont High School that I heard a couple weeks ago and liked them a lot, and I think you will too. They are the Belmont High School Madrigal Singers, and their first song, All the World This Night Rejoices. How about a hand?
All the world this night rejoices as the bells ring out, as the bells, all the bells, as the bells, as the bells ring, as the bells do ring out good news. La 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 la. All the world this night rejoices as the bells ring out, as the bells, as the bells, as the bells, as the bells ring, as the bells do ring out good news. La 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 la. Our Savior now to us is born in Bethlehem of Mary. The world this night rejoices. Our Savior now to us is born in Bethlehem of Mary. The world this night rejoices.
Very nice. Very nice. Are these, I want to ask quickly, are these, before you sing the next, are these authentic to what period, these costumes?
To the Elizabethan age, around 18th century.
They're snappy dressers. Of course, the guys wearing leggings probably got a lot more head colds during that time. We want to wish you the happiest of holidays. We're going to be showing you some encore performances next week. We'll be back live for our New Year's prediction show. Call the number you saw before if you want to join us for that one. Have a happy, safe holiday. We want you all back viewing with us after the holidays. And how about one more song from the Belmont High Madrigal Singers. Have a good one, everybody.
Joy to the world, the Lord is come. Let earth receive the King. Let every heart prepare him room. And heaven and nature sing. And heaven and nature sing. And heaven and nature sing. Joy to the earth, the Savior reigns. Let men their songs employ. While fields and floods, rocks, hills and plains, repeat the sounding joy, repeat the sounding joy, repeat the sounding joy. He rules the world with truth and grace, and makes the nations prove the glories of his righteousness, and wonders of his love, and wonders of his love, and wonders of his love.
Hi.
Hi, I'm Dave Middard. If you wear a lot of hats like I do, then you should shop Julio's Liquors in Westboro.
The chef in me goes crazy in the Cook's Corner section. And when you're in the mood for tasty cheese or gourmet foods, there's plenty to choose from in the Mousetrap. The fine wine department here at Julio's was recently voted #1 in Metro West, but of course, for their quality selection. And let's talk about this beer selection, sports fans. No matter how many hats you wear for gift giving or entertaining, Julio's has it all. Route 9, Westboro.
A question of handling the homeless, Friday at 7:30.
Day Technology, where you hear all the intimate details of a first date. And now, here is our host, Chuck Woolery.
Thank you, Johnny Gilbert. Thanks, everybody. Thank you. Good to have you here. Good looking audience here today. Thank you. Thanks. Thank you. Let's get started by meeting our first guest. Now, she enjoys reading, dancing, riding her bike, even though on a scale from 1 to 10, she rates herself a 10. Now, she admits that some men deduct points for her beautiful, or her brutal honesty, and sometimes I guess it's beautiful. Please welcome Suzette Banks. She's brutally honest, folks, right here on our stage. Are you really brutally honest?
Very much so.
Are you?
Yes.
Yeah?